Welcome to another episode of Adobe Live. We're doing day 3 here with Alex Banaga. And I am Sarah Stewart. I'll be your host today. If you've been tuning in all week, we've been doing awesome UX UI work with 3 different designers. And let's review that schedule to see what you could have tuned into today, this morning, this afternoon. So first up, we had James Sue with Paul, and they're working on a beautiful succulent application. Alex Banaga right here has been working on a wonderful mix of SoundCloud and Dribble.
Yeah, they had a baby.
Yep, so it's a Beats application, a web application. And later today, you can tune in to Kevin and Jessica, who are working on some social media influencer mobile applications. So yeah, we've been doing a lot these past 2 days. We've answered a lot of really great questions. I feel like we've had a really active chat this whole week. So I'm really excited and happy to have everyone back. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for asking these awesome questions. And let's start by doing a quick recap of who you are, what your background is, and what you're working on.
Yeah, so my name's Alex Banaga for all the new listeners. I'm a UI UX designer. I worked at a couple places like Pinterest, Jelly. I help a lot of Y Combinator companies with their branding and their landing pages. So
cool. So he's got a very specific niche background where he focuses on really helping new companies brand themselves, pitch themselves, and get the funding they need. After, I guess you get funding from the Y Combinator and then you step in to start defining the design system?
yeah, typically they come up with like an MVP and they get traction on their own wherever they're living at the time.
Gotcha.
And then they pitch that idea to Y Combinator, and if they're good enough, they get funding.
And you help with that.
Yeah,
so.
once the funding comes in.
When they have some money to pay. Yeah, that makes sense. And so the last 2 days, you should go back and review. Day 1, we focused a lot on just Alex's process, what it means to him to jump into design. He doesn't do the process of sketching on paper first. He'll jump right into a digital product. And you just learned XD, so you've been doing this whole week in XD even though you're not super familiar with it, which has been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I actually just started learning it on Sunday, and I feel like a pro now, so
yeah,
it's been good.
Yeah, you are a pro now. Yesterday we started defining more of those extra screens for the final visual design. We played around with a little bit of prototyping. There are 2 new XD features that you should check out, the overlay feature and the sticky elements feature. We went into those a little bit yesterday, but there are tutorials online to check those out. And today we're going to be working on that final step when you're working on pitching your design idea and refining it in a way that people can understand what you're trying to do. And Alex, you want to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today?
Yeah, so we've been working on the actual product of TO Beats, so that's kind of going into when you have an account with TO Beats and you're logged in or logged out, what you're seeing on the web application side. And today we're going to dive into the landing page side. So that's going to be the side where typically, if a company comes to me, they'll say, hey, we have this awesome product, but we want to sell it online or around the globe. So they'll have me do a landing page that's meant to sell either their product, the service, whatever they're selling. And my job as a designer is to make what landing page look really incredibly like visually appealing and just make it like pop, so that if a new user or an investor comes to the site, they're interested, they want to sign up, they want to meet the guys behind it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the process I go about when designing a landing page.
Yeah, and Alex actually has a background in development as well. So he's done work where he's designed something and then actually built it. So seeing his process while he's working on these designs is really cool because you get a sneak peek into how he thinks about putting these things together. So I highly recommend you go back, watch day 1, day 2 if you haven't already. Otherwise, welcome back for day 3, and we're excited to get started. Do you maybe want to start by pulling up your social media information to let people know where they can find you online and follow you?
Totally. So I'm basically everywhere, but probably my top 4 spots are going to be right there. So Twitter, Dribble, Behance, and Instagram. And then below are just some of the companies I've worked with over the past couple years.
Yeah, and you also have a fantastic website that you can probably pull up for us.
So this is my site right here. So if you guys go to alexbanaga.com, this is my portfolio site. So it just goes over my past clients, where I'm at currently, and then some testimonials from some people that I worked for.
Cool, and now that we know Alex's background, I also want to mention that ask Alex questions. Ask Alex about why he chose this project. Ask anything and participate in chat for a chance to win this really cute XD stencil kit today.
I got one of those today.
You did?
I did get one of those.
I'm so jealous. These are amazing. So inside you'll have these little
That's cool.
common elements that you'd want to use when you're sketching designs. If you're someone like me, where you like to actually write on paper, unlike Alex, or sketch stuff out on paper, these are super handy because you can actually trace different elements onto the page. And so we got a lot of stuff on here. It's super cute. We also have gridded paper, some nice pencils, and the whole thing is wrapped up with this cute little XD logo.
That's probably like the best giveaway we gave away this week.
Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good ones though, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, just participate, say hi, let us know where you're coming from when it comes to chats. And hi to everyone. We have Eric again, welcome back. Voodoo Val, hi Kevin, hi Mike. Alejandra, you asked some good questions yesterday, welcome back. Anel, I remember you from a past stream, welcome back. Hi Aaron, Christian, we have a lot of people today.
That's awesome.
I'm excited. And don't forget our hashtag for this stream has been Adobe Cadabra with all the magic that you can do in Adobe. We want to continue that going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hashtag some more after this. Cool. And so let's get into these landing pages.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's do it.
You can start by showing us some examples of ones you've done in the past and what it means to put them together.
Yep, so one project that actually is on like my social stuff, I think for Adobe, when you guys were kind of saying join Alex today, was this project right here called Introbot.
Oh, cool.
And it was something I worked on with a good friend of mine. His name is Ben. And what this is basically we had this idea while I just moved to the city and we were kind of pondering on what to do. And we were thinking like, what if there was like a Slack integration? Because Slack was just getting big a few years ago, and basically for these giant Slack teams, what if this like bot just came in and said, "Hey, Sarah, go have a coffee with John. You guys have never met," and it just connects you guys. So it connects people within a larger company.
Gotcha.
So I did this landing page for fun. It was 100%. I got paid like nothing. It was just an idea, but I did like the logo, the copy,
That's
the
a great portfolio
concepting.
piece too.
Yeah, it was great to add on our portfolio. My friend who I worked on this with, Ben, is like really high up there on the ranks of like Product Hunt. So we put this on there, and we got like a lot of like love on the Product Hunt community.
Nice.
So this is basically just trying to sell users to add this Introbot to their Slack.
Gotcha.
So this is one example. Another example, this was actually for a company that I used to work for called Gravity 4. And what I did here was just, they did like it was a cloud-based CRM platform. So I went in and just from scratch, they had the content laid out, but I was responsible for making it look pretty, kind of trying to sell it to new people and consumers.
To businesses, so you got to keep this popular for them.
Exactly. So I had to come up with the iconography, the concepting, the layout, all that fun stuff. This was another example I did. I saw a lot of like hotel websites that were coming out that weren't that great.
I love that typeface.
Thank you. So I decided to do like a fictitious landing page for some resort.
Wow.
So I actually did this for free just to add to my portfolio.
I need to do more stuff like this.
And this was a blast to work on. It took me about a week, but it's been like when a lot of companies reach out, they say they like this specific project. And
nice.
So that's kind of what enticed me to just keep making stuff to put on my portfolio.
Yeah, do you remember that typeface? Because it's sick. I like the...
I'd have to. All
right, I'll hit you up later to figure
research
that out.
it, but I definitely have it somewhere.
Yeah, I really love the styling here, and it really showcases your design skills in a really practical way.
Thank you.
So this is really great. This is how you present your work. It's a really good example of someone who's self-taught. We mentioned in previous days that Alex actually didn't have formal education. He just taught himself. And so he went on to different design communities online for inspiration, for feedback. And this is the work he's producing. So I don't know how I feel about my college degree anymore because you're proving.
I think it was worth it. You got to meet a lot of people, and I'm sure you had a way better social life.
Pros and cons, pros and cons. But it proves that you don't need a formal education if you want to get into design. Participating in things like Adobe Live and Behance and Dribbble and those types of communities is a great way to elevate your work, get feedback, build that community that you want to build. So yeah, I think this is great to see.
Sweet.
And now we're going to do this for TO Beats.
We're going to do it for TO Beats. So I guess I'll dive just straight in then.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
Kevin says he's officially shook. I just learned that term, shook, recently at dinner with these Adobe
Is that Kevin
peeps.
Kevin?
Yes, actually, it is
that's
Kevin.
awesome.
Isn't
That's
it?
why I say that.
That's why I say it. Kevin recently taught me the word shook, and so
Kevin is the guy that's after me in the live stream. So if
Yeah.
you guys stick around, he's gonna be on next, and
he's hilarious.
awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. Everyone this week has been really awesome, so
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking out all of them.
Sweet. So I guess I'll just start with like how I even start putting stuff on the canvas.
Yeah.
So typically, I've done so many landing pages, and this is gonna sound awful, but I still don't know my exact dimensions for my landing pages. So what I always do is I always just go into my portfolio, and there's one that I specifically remember that I like measured out perfectly. And this is actually for a YC company called DocTalk. What they do
Okay.
is they have an app, and they
Can we
connect.
look at this?
Yeah, they connect people with doctors in India, where
Whoa.
it's very hard to get, medical help, and you can actually just message your doctor, tell them what's going on, and receive, what you should be doing, checkups, prescriptions. You can get all that. So
Wow.
They
Did
were-
you do all the artwork as well? The
I did,
illustrations?
yeah. So I did these illustrations as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talented man.
So I'm gonna dive straight into it. So I'm just gonna grab this. I just copy the image, and then I'm just gonna paste it right on my screen. And then this is all really I do. I just create an artboard that kind of matches this. So, whoops. I'll just go ahead and grab the width of here, which is 1919. Put it as the width for here, and then the height. It really doesn't matter because it's gonna vary on how big our landing page is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, I think we made it like 1 pixel though.
That I don't know how you would even design that.
If you click on the name,
Yeah.
oh, there we go.
And then just paste that right in there. So now it's the same
There we go.
size.
Yeah.
And then what I do just to get my grid is because I like just having just the canvas and then just one inner grid to not go past.
Yeah.
So you guys can do this. You don't have to use mine, but if you use any like Stripe, we talked about Stripe.
Yeah.
If you want to grab their grid, but all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna zoom in and then just create like a square, and then what I'll do here, oops, there we go, is I will just stretch that square all the way to the other side, where my button ends, because I actually measured this before.
It's cool. You just have like a visual indicator based on measurements you did in the
Exactly.
past.
So this is exactly 1170, which actually sounds right because it probably shouldn't be an odd number.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do here is I actually measured this too. So I'll start at the button top, and then I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just do 4. And then I just copy that square. I paste it on my new canvas, and I'll make the fill like a red, just a light red as like my grid. And then I'll just center it with the canvas, and that will be my parameters of where I don't go beyond.
Wow,
And
okay.
that's literally just how I start.
That's interesting because there's so many different ways of doing this. And so if you're familiar with the grid function in XD, you can actually set up a grid pretty easily.
And that's what I should be doing.
I mean,
I
there's no
should be
should.
doing that,
There's
but
no
I
should.
never. This is what I've been doing now for years, so I just found it's what works for me.
I think your visual style is all about kind of breaking the bounds a little bit. And you are a developer, and so your
Yeah.
designs end up being built. It's not like they're unbuildable. It's
Yeah.
just a little bit different than the standard,
Yeah.
which I think is a good thing. Like, it's good to be a little bit different.
Yeah, so now I have the square. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start puzzle piecing how I'm gonna lay out this website.
Okay.
So I think the most important part of the website is the banner. That's the above the
First
fold
thing we
area,
see.
the
Yeah.
first thing you see. How can you grab the audience? How can you make it so the people going to your site probably go to maybe over 100 sites a day?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right. So how does yours stand out? And I try to do mine by, either making illustrations that look so unique that you kind of want to have the urge to scroll down.
Yeah.
Or have the background color very like enticing
Yeah.
to where it kind of jumps at you.
You have a lot of great advice about catching people's eye right off the bat, and that reminds me, don't forget to submit your portfolios today if you want the fantastic Alex to review it and give you some feedback.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, so anyone can submit their portfolio for review. You'll have an opportunity in this stream and next stream as well. But it gives us an opportunity to see your work, to give you feedback, and really almost to showcase it sometimes, because I've seen some great portfolios. But yeah, you have about 15 minutes left for the chat and win as well. So if you're submitting your portfolio, maybe mention your background, what kind of work you're doing. It'd be cool to see if everyone here is a designer or if there are people from different backgrounds participating in chat today.
So now all I'm doing is I'm getting some elements from the product, and I'm
Nice.
going to start bringing them into the landing page.
Do you do any mood boarding at all when you work on these projects?
I do,
Okay.
and we're gonna go over that too.
Oh, cool,
I'm
awesome.
actually, I'm gonna do this from scratch. So the other products I've actually like thought about and kind of built out for this project, but the landing page portion of it, I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited. Leo is a designer developer as well, just like you.
Sweet, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So because Theobeats is a music producer's like website, I'm gonna keep the sign up and sign in the navigation.
Okay.
I'm also gonna do an about us just in case for an investor. If
Yeah.
investor comes to this page, they're probably gonna see what's going on, but they're probably gonna want to know a little bit about who built it, the history behind it, all that. If they're looking to get in on a financial basis,
Cool, yeah.
so I'll do an about us.
Oh, Alejandro's saying it's great to see you work from scratch because she's having difficulties with the landing page right now.
Good, let's do it. Let's do it together. And then I'm gonna just do a home. So there's not that many navigational items going on
Yeah.
here. I'm keeping it sweet and simple because this is a landing page. We don't want them to, I'm not gonna have 20 different navigational items because I want them to eventually just either go into the app and sign up or contact us.
Yeah, I mean, those are the two things you want, either money or contacting.
So I'm doing that thing where I just go over, I hit shift arrow, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Sweet. So now I have that. So I have my navigational items. I have my logo on the left-hand side. Now for this font, for the product, we're keeping things smaller because we want the content to be more predominant.
Yeah.
But for the landing page, I want it like
You want
it
to do
to
flashy
be
stuff.
huge, so that someone coming here instantly knows, oh, this is what this website's about.
Awesome, I'm excited.
So I'm going to bump up this font size from 34 to, let's see how 64 looks. That
That's
looks
pretty
actually
big.
good. And I'm debating now in my head if I should keep it on one line or make it on two. And let's see how 2 looks just real quick.
Oh, it's
So actually,
nice.
I like 2 actually. And because it actually takes the words and I have more space now I can actually bump the font size up even more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put that to like 78.
We have Heiner tuned in, who's a software developer by software developer by profession, photographer by passion. That's pretty cool. I like photography a lot. And then Dane was asking if you have a source for obtaining all your typefaces and fonts.
A source.
Yeah, do you use...
Honestly, I've equivalated fonts over the past like 6 years. So
Okay.
in 1 year, maybe Helvetica was my font.
Yeah.
And the next year, I find that I'm going to like an Avenir font.
Cool. So every
something.
project you seem to like pick up a new font if you want to?
Yeah, I
or you
think I have
one
like
you
my
go to?
go-tos. I think my go-tos are like Helvetica and Circular is the one that Spotify uses for their
Oh, cool.
fonts. So
Good to know.
I like theirs a lot.
Yeah, I have a Helvetica new tattoo, so I
Where-
like Helvetica
really?
too.
Where's that at?
It's my Made in Canada tattoo on my ankle. It has the typeface Helvetica
Oh,
anyway.
dude, that's awesome.
Thanks.
That's sick.
Does anyone else have typefaces on their tattoos? I'd be curious to hear.
So all I'm doing here is I'm just getting my button down, and I actually increased the font from 14 to 16 for the landing page because I want everything to be bigger.
Bigger button.
Bigger.
Yeah.
One,
B.
two,
George
three,
likes
four,
circular too. I gotta play with circular apparently. I didn't realize that was the typeface from Spotify. It's always cool to get those typefaces you use every day recognized.
38. And another font that's like I think underrated is Apple came out with a free open source font called
San
like
Francisco?
SF. Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I love that font
That
too.
one's good too. We just had a question from Mohammed about some fonts or typefaces that you like.
That I like.
Yeah. What are some of your favorites?
Yeah, Avenir, Circular, Helvetica. Those are like my top 3. And then if I gotta go with something like something totally different, I like this one. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's called Graphic, and it's like Grapik. There's a K at the end.
I think
know
it's still
that.
pronounced graphic. I like
Yeah?
that typeface too. Yeah.
It's beautiful because
Yeah.
the weights are like really cool.
Yeah, Adobe has a product called Typekit, which I can't.
Oh, I use Typekit all the
recommend.
time.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's so easy because you can sync all your different typefaces across all Adobe products. And so I usually download a couple from Typekit and then I'll use those in all my different pieces of software because it's a pain to get typefaces otherwise. I used to do Google Type, whatever the type equivalent was with Google. Google Fonts, and those were all free, and those were all easy to implement in websites. But Typekit is probably my favorite product right now.
My favorite Google font is Poppins. That's a new one.
Poppins.
It's amazing.
Ooh, can you show us that later?
Yeah, let's just show you right now.
Awesome. And chat, please let us know what your favorite typeface is or font, because we have 9 minutes left for the chat and win, and you'll have a chance to win the stencil kit just by letting us know what font.
This is my
typeface
favorite
you
Google
like.
font, Poppins.
Oh, this is awesome.
Very just easy. I love how bold the bold
Yeah, I have
ones
to
are.
save that.
And
Poppins.
one of the companies I did a landing page for called Do Not Pay. This is what Poppins looks like on a web. So
It looks really nice. It looks very modern and it's very legible.
So this is like it incorporated. That's how
Yeah.
it feels. So.
I like all the background elements on that page.
So I can kind of dive into just the buttons choices. So sign up, I want my users to either sign up or learn more.
Yep.
Right, but when you have two buttons next to each other, one should be more dominant. But I'm kind of just laying out the only thing left to do to this section, the banner section, is to make it look visually appealing and to add maybe a slogan under our main hero text, just to better describe what TOBs actually is.
Yeah, you want to get people to understand what they're working on, what they're looking at. And we have a lot of people who like Poppins. Babass is another good one. Roboto, Circular, San Francisco. Yeah, a lot of good ones. Google Sans is another good one.
So all I'm doing is going to this website that I use like all the time.
For Lorem Ipsum?
Exactly. I just grab
You don't
some.
use Hipster Ipsum?
I heard about that, but I've just been doing this for so many years that like...
There's so many different Ipsum websites. Bondoni, Garamond, Century Expanded. I like Futura a lot.
Futura is awesome.
Baskerville, I use sometimes. Bebas Nue. I know that you're supposed to pronounce it Nue, but I can't help but want to just say New. But yeah, Bebas Nue is great. I used that for a project like yesterday. Hipster Ipsum is just like Lorem Ipsum, except for it replaces all the words with like hipster terminology, like record player, coffee, beard.
I've seen that.
Yeah, there's also like Bacon Ipsum. There's all kinds of Ipsums. Really, it's just a random text generator.
So now what I have here is I kind of have my layout for how this is going to look and feel.
Yeah.
So very bold. I want them to see what's going on instantly. I'll probably tweak some stuff as I'm iterating on it, but for the most part now, what I'll do is I'll just make this look as pretty as I can in the time we have, and then work my way down.
Gotcha.
The buttons are going to change, but first the background color. Like what background color? I usually just like start just using my swatch and seeing what feels good.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the gradient, so I'm just going to copy, and then I'll paste appearance.
Yeah.
And then what I can do is, this gradient is kind of harsh.
It's a little harsh.
Right, so what I like to do is I like to just stretch it out. If I can navigate here. So if I stretch it out here, and I like to go from top left to bottom right, I can do that. But it's still a little harsh with the transition here. So what I like to do is I'll put a middle one right here, and then I'll actually just go towards the middle and kind of tweak it so it's a little bit more, it blends a little better.
A little more subtly, yeah.
Right. So I'll do that for here, and I'll grab this color, and maybe the purple slash right there is a little too intense, so I might lighten that up. And the way I'll lighten it up is I have it selected right there, so I'll use my dropper to go where the area it's at and kind of go more towards the lighter end.
Gotcha.
So now it's kind of coming together.
Yeah, do you mind making this full screen so I can see it a bit more easily?
Totally.
Sweet.
And so I feel pretty good about this. I do want to make something else that I just discovered this, but I want it to be a little bit more flashier. So what I'm going to do, and this is a trick that I learned like 5-6 years into designing.
Yeah.
But I'll just copy and paste it. And then what I'll do is I'll get rid of all my colors except 2. Whoops, how do I do it? I don't know why that's not deleted. Oh, there you go. You can just drag it off. So I'm just getting all rid of 2, and then I'm gonna make my top left one white.
Wow.
And I'll make this one dark, but like still part of the swatch list.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll put it behind all my content so that it, overlays that. And then what I like to do is just kind of bring down the opacity just a hair so that it adds like this lighting effect. So you can see that's without it and that's with it.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more legible too on top.
Yeah, so I just need to make this part a little darker. Sweet, and now I can like really, you can see kind of the rays changing as I go.
Mm-hmm.
And I can probably bump this up. That way it kind of feels like there's this lighting effect going on.
Yeah.
And I just think that kind of works for this. So I'll change my navigational items to be legible, so they're gonna go from gray to a white, but then I'm gonna bring the opacity down just a little bit so that there's not too much white going on. So I'll just make it like 70. And now I can actually play with the buttons. I want my predominant button to be like what people see off the bat, so I'll make it that color. I'll make the text white, and then for here I can change it white, and then I could do something where it's like this, right? So that they see the blue, but then they go to the white. But it might make more sense for this to have it be just a lighter version or a darker of the background color, so it's a little bit more subtle.
Yeah, it's a secondary button.
Right. So then I'll just bump up the color a little bit, make sure these are all aligned, and then I think just bring these up a little bit. But one thing I am noticing is my logo is kind of hard to see, the last two.
Yeah.
So this is where it kind of gets fun, because now you're seeing how I would fix this in like real life.
Yep.
So I need to come up with a color here that works well. So I'm gonna go super light, and then I'm gonna go dark. Our application's dark, so I can probably steal some like color from our app here and like make it a little blue, and then I could just delete this one.
I think you might need to move the location of the second one to the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab this. Can't grab it.
Yeah, what I would do is I would copy the hex code for the second one, that dark one, to the far left, and then delete the second one.
There we go. So this is good. Now I can see it, right? But now it looks a little weird because we don't want it to be all black. So what I would do here is I might bring down, I'll play with the opacity a little bit. I'll see what works well. We could always put like a white, overlay behind it to see it.
Yeah.
But let me try, what if we just go with like a different color than purple? I can see that pretty well, and that looks good. So I might just keep with that color. And now I can see it. This is a little bit, but this is actually where now I would get stuck and kind of had to go back and forth.
Yeah.
But instead of that, I'm just going to continue down the page and just come back to that.
Let's do that.
So now what goes on the right side? It's pretty empty. I think the typography is decent. The buttons, maybe the color choice of the call to action needs to be changed.
Yeah, everyone should get hyped about these wonderful gradients because we have about a minute left before the chat and win. So make sure you're telling us what you like about this design. It's been great hearing about all your different typeface faves.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Adobe Cadabra is also a valid text input.
And how would I, in this, if I want to export this as a PNG to like my desktop, how would I go about doing that?
So you can select the artboard by clicking on the artboard name.
Yep.
And then if you go to the top file, export.
There we go.
Selected. And then you
That's
can
cool.
pick what you want to export it as.
Perfect. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop as web home PNG. Cool.
A lot of people love your colors.
So now what I'm going to
Colors
do is
very vibrant.
I'm actually going to put this guy inside of here because I'm going to highlight features of TO Beats and why people should get on it.
Perfect. And now it's time for our chat and win segment. Woohoo! stencil kit, stencil kit, stencil kit time.
Can I like hold it too?
Yeah,
Hold it
check
for the
it
audience.
out.
Look how clean
It's like
that
a
is.
Power Ranger power, like, go, go, Power Rangers. Yeah, you can see everything inside. We got these lovely pencils and pens. We got the grid paper in the center. We got the stencils at the bottom. And Alex, you already got this kit. Have you used it yet?
I haven't used it, but when I got it, I was super happy.
Yeah, this is super rad. I really want to get one of these. Someone already drew a little cart on here.
I love like this type of pencil.
Yeah.
If I have to sketch, which sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Very rarely though, but I love this.
Mechanical pencils
Yeah,
in
but
general?
with that little.
Oh yeah, with the
I don't even know
extra
what that
metal
is.
end where
The
it makes
metal
them more
end, yeah, yeah, yeah.
specific. Yeah. They're super cool. I don't use regular 2B, is that what they are? 2B? HB?
Yeah, yeah.
HB pencils anymore.
I don't even think I have like a pencil sharpener to like get this to work.
Yeah, it's hard to find those in my house too. I don't know if I have any. But this is a wonderful kit, especially if you love sketching. I love sketching. I think it's an important part of my process. I either start with a whiteboard or with some sketch paper. And so this is a really handy tool. You also get to hang out with XD branding, which is super rad. I want to get all the XD branding swag eventually. And thank you all for participating, but now it's time to announce the winner.
Let's do it.
Would you like to read the name? Drumroll.
Eric Sanchez.
Eric Sanchez, you win the lovely XD stencil kit. Congratulations. Thank you for participating. Congrats.
That's awesome.
I'm jealous. This is a rad stencil kit. All the prizes we give away are always so neat. You have another chance to win with Kevin later today, so feel free to tune in later for another chance to win. And don't forget to submit portfolios too. We'll be reviewing those later today. So congrats again, Eric. Yay!
All right. So diving back into this, I just put the web application screen that we created in the first couple episodes. So I want to showcase exactly what this is.
Yeah,
so
this is already looking nice.
I put it on the right side. And now I'm going to show you guys when I get stuck for stuff, how I go around, finding some inspiration.
Okay, great.
So the first website I go to is usually like landbook.com, and this is the one I told you is a live website.
Yeah.
So you can see all these are live sites. And if you scroll down, I just look at stuff that entices me for the project that I'm working on. This is kind of cool because it has like the font we're using super bold, and they do some cool stuff with the icons. This one's really cool, and I like that they have this lighter gradient in the background. If you see, it goes from like a light blue to a darker blue, and they're using like a radial gradient. So I might actually use that to showcase more of this product.
Yeah.
So that already gave me an idea.
Perfect.
And then if another thing I like to do is I like to go on like Dribbble or Behance, and I'll just type in like for instance dark landing page, and that's because we do have dark UI, and then I'll scroll down, and this kind of caught my eye off the bat.
Man, you looked at that really quickly.
Yeah, so this has like a nice big stuff that you can see where they're doing something with the product and kind of easing it out.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool, and I might try to do a combination of the radial gradient and something like this to kind of get out of this little design rut that we're in now.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scratch. I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna go to a radial gradient, and that's gonna do the circle thing. That doesn't look too good though.
Looks a little funny right now.
And then what I'll do here is I'll just grab I'll grab this like a dark purple, and then I'll use like a monotone, like a light one, and then I can bring it behind here, so it kind of highlights that product. And I'll adjust my oval so that it works for what I'm trying to build out. And then I can just make it bigger. I can put it behind it. We'll mask it so it looks a little better. But to me, that looks a lot visually appealing than what we had a second ago. And that was just from looking on Landbook and Dribbble.
That's crazy.
So now I can maybe come back here, change my call to action back to maybe like a, there might be a few, things I do here, but I really like the button here.
Yeah.
So I might come over here and try to just grab this gradient and actually apply it as a button, which actually kind of is working.
That's
So
cute.
as long as I can maybe just do something like this and stretch this out, just so it's not, or you know what I'll do? I'll actually just make it a solid color because I do like that, like super light against my purple.
Yeah,
So
I think that's successful.
That's my sign up button. The blur's a little heavy, so I'll just bring that down by doing that, coming here, and then just bringing that down just a little bit more, and then just bringing the opacity of that shadow down just a bit. And then for here, I might just lose the shadow and grab a color that matches the background color just a bit more, and do something like that.
That was so quick.
We already have something that I'm a little bit more happy with than we had maybe 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, even Leo says he likes it a lot better
Yeah.
than the past button colors.
Yeah, so now I'm going to dive into the next section. So the next section, what I'll do is I'll just come here. This is usually going to be, if you look on a lot of my work, or any website in particular, they usually dive into features, but sometimes you'll see the feature section where it highlights the different things about the product. So I'm going to make up like a heading that's like YTO beats, right? Mm-hmm. And here's a little thing that I like to do just to flare it up. So I'm going to make this font like 24. Right, so let's do Command 1 just to get the official size. That's a little small, so I'll make it like 36. And then I'm going to have a blurb about YTO beats here. But what I'm going to do differently is I'm going to have an icon above here just for some visual appeal.
Nice.
So I'll probably make that like 80. I'll probably make this color. We have like this gray we're using for our type, so I'm actually going to keep things consistent. Just grab that, come over here, and then paste that on these two. And that's already looking, decent. And then for here, I can get rid of it, and I want my icon to be white, so I can use like a color like that.
Dark purple for contrast.
Right, exactly. And then what I'll do is I'll just grab my lorem ipsum right here, put it in here, and then for here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the weight to like regular. I'll make this 18, and then what I'll do is this needs to be a lot bolder because we do have such a big header that it would be good to stay consistent with that. So I'm going to bump that up to like 48. And then what I'll do is I will make the color of that a little bit darker. So someone coming here knows instantly, oh, like this is the section about YTO beats. And now we can go into what should be in this icon. So we can do a few things, but I think for consistency purposes, it would be kind of cool to actually have like just the little, maybe a few of these little beat things.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I'm just gonna make this white. I'll increase.
Oh, I kind of like that on its own.
Just one?
Yeah, it's like first bullet point.
And
welcome, Daniel White. I am not familiar with your work, but everyone's saying your tutorials have been amazing. I'll have to check out your tutorials later.
And then just do that. And then what I'll do is I'll just go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe I'll center it so it looks actually like a beat. But what's cool is we're keeping things consistent because this is actually with the logo. These are logo elements that I'm using right now.
Yeah, that looks neat. Kind of reminds me of Spotify, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm doing this all from scratch, so.
Yeah, it's really funny how it's similar.
And then what I'll do is, what's important is like we could leave it like that, right? But I actually think additional steps are what separate like really good designers from like good designers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make sure everything's centered, but I'm actually not going to leave these white, in the end. I'm actually going to come up here, and I'm going to grab this color, and then I'm going to change each color of the line so that it's a little bit more visual appealing for each one.
Yeah.
And you'll see from white to like what I'm doing now, it does have more of like a visual appeal.
Yeah, more visual impact for sure.
Yeah, and so if I zoom out, that's kind of different.
That's neat. Yeah, I like it.
So,
it's a subtle little gradient too.
Very subtle. I'm using, the same colors, and I might even like brighten this one up a little bit so it's not as consistent. and that's going to be kind of my section headings. So
love
I'll use
it.
that consistently throughout the page. We'll have to change the icons for the sections, but for the most part, that's going to be the overall layout. So that's how I would start it. Now we're going to have our text here, so I'm going to bring this down to 18. There's going to be a lot more text on a specific feature about TO beats. So what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste this twice within the same paragraph.
Make
So
it a
like
bit
that,
longer.
exactly. And then I always like debate for the 3 feature section, because it's going to be something like this. Should they be left aligned or centered?
That's always the biggest debate, I feel like. I saw a Twitter post recently
Oh
of
my
like,
God.
you're either this type of designer or this type of designer, left aligned or centered.
And honestly, like, there's no right or wrong. I've seen it work both ways, and I've seen the biggest companies, one has them left and one has them right, so
Yep.
you can't really win.
No, it's all opinion based, I think, at this point. But I like to be consistent with whatever I choose for this design. So if I do left align in one section, I'll do left align through the whole thing.
Exactly. And I'm actually the same way, so for this, I'm actually going to keep it left aligned.
Nice. Chat, let us know. Are you a designer who likes to center align or left align?
So
Party house like centered.
there you go. So I'm just going to distribute those evenly. And then I'm going to come up with my section headers. So now we can think about, since we're building this out, if someone's coming to the site as a producer, what 3 features do we want them to instantly be like, oh, dude, I want to sign up?
Yeah.
Well, the first one that comes to mind would probably be to get discovered. So I'm going to put get discovered. And then I'm actually just going to copy, paste appearance. And then I'll bring this down because it should not be the same as
As
our
big as the
heading.
header,
So this
yeah.
was 48, so I'll maybe go 32. And that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of left answers here. Walter, Alejandra, Daryl. Marcelo said right. Miriam says both. Daniel is center. Joy is center. Dane says he's the wrong aligned type of designer. Christian is left. Anel is center. Yeah, you can't win. You gotta just go with your gut on these things. Christopher asked if you set up grids for this design, and so at the beginning of this stream, we talked about how Alex actually just measures out based on a design he had measured out previously, so he doesn't have to use grids for his work. There are probably tutorials online where you can see how to set up a grid in Adobe XD, but it's super easy. Yeah, so I recommend you go online and you Google a tutorial on Adobe for setting up grids in XD. B. George is a center. Anmol is center. B. George says he sometimes uses left too, though. Yep. Adriano is left team. Hashtag left team. Nice.
Nice.
Gotta do hashtags with all these answers.
So now I actually have the 3 selling points that I want to go to. So
Build an audience, get discovered, connect with the producers. Oh, with producers, yeah.
So that's kind of what our app does.
Yeah.
So now I have this section. Now I can actually build icons for it. But I want to make sure that we have enough time. So I'm going to put placeholders here, and then we'll come back to it in like a few
I would love to
minutes.
see you make icons. I hope we have time to come back to that.
We definitely will, because I just want to show how I transition from sections.
Yep. Makes sense.
So I'll just put a placeholder here, 80 pixels by 80. And even my placeholders do have to look pretty. They're not just going to be like lime green blocks.
Even your placeholders, even your wireframes are beautiful.
So I have to do something like that just to make myself accept that we're moving to the next section for now.
It's like you're a designer or something.
Yeah, maybe in like the past life I was.
Yeah.
And then for here, because each selling point for a landing page, what I want to do is I want to make sure that on any point of the page that they're sold, they can sign up.
Yeah.
So on every section, I might do something like this, but then I actually just thought we could get rid of this button, and for each one, just to even add more appeal, we can do like a learn more and like a darker contrast of, we'll just do this, whoops. And what that'll do, to learn more, will probably change to like sign up.
Yeah.
And then why that one is highlighted purple is because that'll actually be my hover effect for the learn more.
Gotcha.
And it kind of looks like it adds some contrast too when you see this as a whole.
Yeah.
Just having that highlighted. So
Having a little bit of color pop.
I'll do that sign up. sign up, and then sign up. Sweet. And then, so now we have to come up with a new section.
All right.
So there's a few things we can do. We can make a square, and what color we want to use. I probably want to use something like this. We can go and do that, but I want to make this visually appealing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this across. I'm gonna zoom out, and then I'm gonna get rid of. I'm actually not gonna get rid. I'm gonna bring this down just a little bit.
Ooh, angles going on.
And then what I'll do here is I will make this consistent by bringing this down, just because we need some space. We need some space, so I'll bring that down just a little bit. And now if we zoom in, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, Alexander's asking what the software is here. This is XD, and Alex is actually a noob to XD. So this is one of the first days he's worked in this product. So it shows how easy it is to pick it up. We have a free version. Please go download it and try it out. Yeah, it's very powerful software. Voodoo Val says, whoa, getting fancy there. Eileen says MySpace angles.
Nice.
Are you old enough to know what MySpace is?
Yeah, I do know what MySpace is.
Okay, cool.
MySpace, I used to get jealous because you could have a #1 friend.
Yeah, it was like a whole like social manipulation
Dude,
thing where you have
used
your
to-
top 8.
I used to get so mad when my best friend would put his best friend instead of me, and I'd be #2. We wouldn't talk for like
Yeah,
weeks.
that's how fights started back in 1990.
So I'm glad Facebook fixed that.
Yeah. No more top friends. Yeah, Kevin is mentioning in chat, and we went to dinner on Tuesday night, and we were asking Kevin if he knew some old concepts like cassette tapes, floppy disks, and other like old stuff, I guess you would say, old. And so we like showed him pictures and we're like, do you know what this is? And he was like, no, I don't know what that is. And then we brought up the fact that Instagram is, the iconography is a Polaroid camera. And he was like, whoa, I had no idea. I didn't know what that was. And so, oh my gosh, like our brains exploded a little bit. And you just did that in like 2 seconds. Adobe Cadabra.
Adobe Creative 1, 2, 3.
Aw, Chris met his wife on MySpace. Internet dating before it was a thing. Definitely. Yep. The more you know. You got it, Voodoo Val. You're in my top 8 too. So what feature are you going to be showcasing in this section with all those
So
photos?
now I want to showcase to producers like you can upload your beats to get discovered. So
Nice.
What I'll do here is I need to make this one a little bit lighter is what I'm seeing now. And bring this up just a little bit. So now all I'm going to do is just copy that, and then I can plug this in right here.
Ooh, I like it.
Right align it, and then now I can change the color here from like that to a lighter version. We'll fix that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to figure out what the right icon for that would be. And then, you know, we have a new thing that we're doing here.
Yeah.
So we'll probably highlight that they can upload beats to get discovered. So we'll probably dive more in depth to one of these sections right here. So I'll probably say like connect with producers. And most of the time when I'm doing landing pages, the content is already made for me. So the founders of the company will send me a
Give you
document, and they'll have, you know, sat with a copywriter or done it themselves. And
Nice.
so I usually have content that I work with. They just want me to make it look pretty. So this is all off the top of the head as far as just header ideas and text ideas.
Yeah, you're acting as a content writer right now.
Yeah. actually want to highlight this a little bit more.
B. George is right, 40 minutes until portfolio review, so get those in if you want us to review them. I'm sure Alex will have a lot of really great feedback, so definitely take the opportunity. Great. I like seeing your process of just like adjusting things slightly, moving things around.
So what I'll do is I'm using, I want the user to not have to, there shouldn't be too much white space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm doing here is just making sure that there's not too much white space going on from this section to this section. And then what I'll do is I'm going to use my grids here to get these aligned. So if you remember, we use this as our measuring tool. So I'll just align that right, bring that in. That's already aligned, right?
Perfect.
So then I'll just use my tool up here to get those perfectly, whoops.
Gotta group the center one.
Group that. And I could have used repeat grid for this.
Yeah, you totally could have.
So there we go. And then what I'll do is I will grab this and I will make sure that this is 100% in line with our outer grid. Right, so that means I can actually go out because we're using like a different graphic.
It's like a background almost.
We could use, in development terms, it's called overflow hidden. So basically, if you can imagine this area right here is where the browser ends.
Yeah.
We can set code up so that it cuts it off, but it doesn't make it smaller and it doesn't make it so you can scroll.
Nice, so your developer skills are coming in handy here, knowing that you can do that.
Yep, because we can just use overflow hidden as code.
Nice.
So that feels good there. We'll populate these with different,
Different
cover
album
art.
covers, yeah.
But I think what would be really cool is to have, we'll ungroup these, but I wanna add a shadow just to add some pop. And what I do is when I have something that I'm applying to a shadow, and the background is a certain color, I actually like to get that color and make it
darker.
Exactly.
That's your technique with all the different adjustments of colors. I think it's a good one to go off of.
So I just make it like super dark, because now I have more room to bring the opacity up in the shadow and it doesn't look black. It looks actually more like the background.
It looks like almost like a multiply layer because you're blending into the background.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of feels good. Now I can reduce it to maybe like 60. Whoops. Maybe like 50, and I actually want a heavier shadow, so I'll do that.
Nice.
And now,
do you mind making it full?
Whoops.
No problem.
And then we have this going on now.
That looks so nice.
So now from the transition, you're gonna go from discover the world's music producers. You come down here, you learn a little bit. I would love to have those loop as well. So when they get to this section, coding-wise, you would loop with JavaScript or CSS to have new cover art pieces come down.
Through?
Yeah, just to make the website a little bit more interactive.
Very
so
cool.
Typically I would communicate that to the founders of who I'm helping and say, can you have your front end guys do this? And they can usually make it happen.
Yeah, or you'll do it.
Or I'll do it. It takes me a lot more time to do like fancy animations.
Yeah, we talked about this. JavaScript is a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, but I can do it. And then I don't like how consistent everything feels here, so I am going to switch it up by like doing this. And then I'll grab like this, and I'll put it like right here. And then I'll like end it with like this.
So Marion asked if you ever use the layout grids. In the beginning of this stream, we talked about Alex's process where he doesn't usually use the grids. He actually has one project that he references back to where he did all the measurements correctly, and he uses that as a guide. And so I recommend going back to the beginning of the stream to see how Alex works, or you can check out some other streamers who use the grid if that's something you're interested in. So now all I'm doing there is just trying to get the measurement from
these guys consistent.
Yep. You
So
wanna make
now,
sure it's-
now we got to make an icon for that area.
Yay!
So now,
nice.
connect with producers. So when I hear instantly when I hear the term connect with producers, I think of like shaking hands or like if like some headphones are like in there or something. So what I'll do is I'll just do like connect icon on Google and see images.
Get inspiration.
So this is cool. I like the whole like people thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. So what I'll do is I want to do 2 people in the circle.
Nice. Connecting together.
Yeah, exactly. So let's zoom in. We'll make this full screen.
Sweet.
And I'm going to use the ellipse tool.
We're building an icon.
I'll make it white. And then let me think here. We're going to make a rectangle and we're going to make it like that. And then what I'm going to do is, we talked about this yesterday, but I can use the same CSS properties that I have in my head to make the top and right corner rounded and to keep those bottom ones just
right
square.
angles, yeah.
So I'll make that 20, I'll make that 20, and that already kind of looks like a person.
It does.
So what we'll do is I'll just get him aligned. I'll make sure that it's very important to keep things realistic when you're creating icons. So this guy wouldn't have like a body like this.
Oh yeah? No.
No, that would not be acceptable. And then I'll go down like 3 pixels, remove the border, and I think that's appropriate considering where his head's at. So then what I'll do here is I'll just delete these 2 pixels, and I might bring this guy in, and then we have one icon made, but we're connecting with producers with an S. So what I'm going to do is I need 2.
Yep.
So I'll put him, I'll group him, and I'll make him a little smaller because we actually have to fit 2 people in here. And then I'll make this guy like this.
This girl?
Girl or guy, or both girls.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do something fancy here. I am
Cool.
going to make the fill color the same background. I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to grab this. And that way it almost feels like,
Oh, cool.
been,
Kind of reminds me of MySpace, actually.
dude, I'm
Gosh, so
copying
many
Spotify,
designs.
MySpace. I don't know.
Nice.
And
It means you're good at what you do, because those took a long time to figure out.
and then I'll just do something like that, like a different offset. And let's see how this looks. You can't really tell by zooming in, but just off the top, I probably should bring those a little smaller. And now, when I zoom out, you'll see what that look and feels like. So it's okay. I think the circle is off on this one, so I can just come in and make it exactly 15 by 15. And I actually love using measurements when I'm creating icons
Yeah,
because
to
I can
make
get
sure it's
so
really precise.
So I'll do 15, 15, and then the width of here I'll just make 26 and 14, and then I can do the same for this guy. 26, 14. So now they're consistent, and let's see how that feels.
Looks good. Eileen said if SoundCloud, Spotify, and MySpace had a baby.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what we were going for.
Yeah.
But the only thing is I do want this to kind of scoot in just a little bit so they can see more that this guy's kind of, it's 2 on top of each other.
Connecting.
So I'll just come over a few pixels and cut it. That way it looks more like that.
I like that a lot. That took you no time at all.
Yeah, so I might spend more time with getting those smaller and more precise, but for the most part, I think that's what we're gonna have.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back here. I might, add a button here now. So I'll just come up here, grab this button, put him here, and then I can really try to make this pop just because this is like a call to action now. So I can actually just like make it like there, bring up the color a bit, and then just make it so it's like, oops. Sign up, center that, and then add our little shadow. But I want things to stay consistent, so I'll actually come here, copy styles, copy,
Paste
and
appearance.
then I want that color, so I'm just going to use Option Shift to move him out of the way, right? Oh, I think it's connected to something. There we go. Just move him out of the way, paste, appearance, So it shadows there. And now all I gotta do is just grab this color and then just delete this item.
Nice.
So now it's consistent. So I'm thinking consistency because you can actually set up a property that I can use over and over in the code.
Yeah.
For the box shadow.
Yeah.
So
It's
the
something that when
CSS.
you export the design specs will be a commonality with all the drop shadows of all the buttons.
Yeah. So I'm just bringing that just a little bit smaller, just so that you can see that this is in a circle. So just made that a little bit smaller, and now I see that this is good. And when we're gonna put new cover art here, but it would be kind of cool to have like a little bit more flair.
Ooh, okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab these guys.
I like those.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paste it and I'm gonna make them giant. I'll make them like, let's just see. So that feels good, and then I'll just bring the border radius up, and I will do that. I'll do like that, because you can see we can make them small, so
Yeah.
it takes up the white space like around here, and then I can bring him here. Oops. And this has no other purpose but to add flair to our site.
Style, yeah.
So I'll do my same thing where I'm making things consistent. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, and then I'll do like 1, 2, 3, and then I can just bring these down to about there. I'm gonna make these the same color as that, maybe a little bit lighter, and then right there, and then I'm gonna create a shadow that's extremely like bold,
Nice.
and then I'll bring down the opacity. And then I can group these, I believe, and then I can edit, object. I'm looking to mask this within our...
Yeah, so you might need to create a shape to go over it before you can mask them.
Oh, cool. So we'll just go to the pen tool.
Yeah, or you can duplicate your background because it's already the right shape.
Oh, sweet. So V, delete. So if I just copy, paste.
And then select that grouped object, and then if you go to edit, or is it object? Yeah, object, mask with shape.
Perfect. So now I have that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the added flair.
And then I can...
Eric said, look how up close Alex is. Yeah, you get really like in the zone.
Yeah.
You're like into what you're doing. I like it. That's how you can tell someone's working hard, how close they are to their machine. I have like back problems because I'm never leaning back working. Gosh, you gotta sit up straight, but when you're in the zone, you wanna get in there.
You do want to get in there.
Yeah, and just as a quick reminder, we have about 26 minutes left before the portfolio review, so please submit your portfolio if you'd like the lovely Alex to review it.
All right, so now we have this. Now it's kind of looking like it's coming together.
Yeah, this looks legit already, so.
So I'll put stuff in there. I'm thinking about what to do next.
Voodoo Val says, this isn't even his final form.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think, just concept-wise, I think you guys get the idea of what I want to do for the banner,
Yeah.
the sections. I think I'll definitely create icons for those. Those will take some time. I'll put different things in here, but what I'll probably do is I would just go and create the next sections, which would be get discovered, connect with producers, and then an important part of a website that I do a lot of the times is the final call to action.
Gotcha.
So if you go to any of my previous works in here, for almost all my landing pages, like including this guy, it's important that if someone's all the way at the bottom, it probably means they're interested because they're still on your website.
They look through all the content you have to offer.
Exactly. So I like to add a final call to action, and that's just very important. So like probably 90% of my landing pages that I do, period, have a final call to action of some sort. So like this one has, 2, but it's mainly this one.
Yeah.
So now I'll add like the footer, and we'll do a call to action, and then I'll clean up these icons, and if we have more time, we can dive into the next sections.
Yeah, I think this is great. We'll have just enough time for you to finish up this page.
So let's say there's content here. Typically what I would do, I would just grab this, And then one thing that I learned over the years was if you just bring this down and you had it there, it might get a little repetitive to the viewer. So I like to switch things up by like going over here and now having the art on the left. Opposite sides.
I like switching them, switching them too. Swapping and switching got combined.
So I'll grab that. And this is just so I can kind of dive into like a new thing. So I'll just copy, I'll paste appearance, copy, paste appearance.
Oh, it has a weird
We fixed it here. So here was 29. So I can just go in here and just
change it.
29. I can get rid of this button just for now. We can always come back to this section. I'll make it like a different color because I want things to be different per each one. So I'm just looking for like colors to grab. It might be cool to go with like a blue for here.
Yeah, Laura says she loves how this is turning out.
That's
I
awesome.
agree.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate it. I think there's still a lot of work, but
That's a designer's mindset.
So now we have Get Discovered. So if you can imagine, we would go from Connect with Producers, we sell it there, and then we go to Get Discovered, we'll sell it on the next section, and then we'll close out with like Connect with Producers. So I'm gonna do like Get Discovered. And like something cool, this is, when I have an idea, what I like to do is just start like wireframing it out. So when I think of like connecting, I might even have to do this now, but I think of like two people like this, like one here, and you know, maybe it's a smaller button or a smaller person, and then one like here, and they're all like somehow connected to each other. So each part has very unique art that associates with it. And this just came off of like my head. That was like
bubbles.
You know, connecting. But what I would do is I would actually go to a website like Stocksy and find users' faces. But I know for a fact that my faces for my producers are very small. So I'll go to Stocksy. Stocksy, have you heard of it?
You can also go to Adobe Stock.
Adobe Stock, Adobe. Let's just go. I think I have like credits with them, so we can do that.
Perfect.
Adobe. Was it Stock?
If you just search for Adobe Stock, I think it might be adobestock.com, but I don't want to give you the wrong address. Stock.adobe.com.
There we go.
Yeah, Jeff, he's just using the trackpad. He is crazy fast, and I can't believe how quickly he can pump out these designs.
So I'll just put in like profile person. And just see what that feels like, just get a sense about what that's looking like. So these are just people, this is good. Matter of fact, I spend a lot of time looking for who I'm gonna showcase, because that actually goes like a long way. You don't wanna put like someone who looks like they're running in a producer website, because then that's gonna throw people off.
Maybe search for a DJ.
DJ is actually a really good choice. So there we go. I think this is definitely good. So I'm just going to save it to my preview library. That's one. I need 3. So that's one of one.
I like this old guy.
Let's just use them. That's 2. And then I want like a creative person.
Voodoo Val said she never knew that people designed with the trackpad, and she only discovered that here on Adobe Live.
That's awesome.
I do it in a pinch.
I usually try to use the mouse, but you can't get good traction.
No, yeah.
But also, like when I'm on a plane or if I don't have good traction, I have to design on the trackpad.
Yeah, I like designing on the couch, and it's a lot easier to use the trackpad on the couch than it is to set up your mouse and everything like that.
This person's good. So I have 3 people now. So now...
So it should be saved to your library. So if you go back to XD and we go to the Assets panel, which you can get to by clicking on the Assets icon on the bottom left. No, try going to Window. No. Maybe I need a little bit of help to remind myself, Paul. How do we get to the library assets in XD?
File.
File.
Open CC libraries.
There we go.
Oh,
So there are your photos right there. Thanks, Paul. See how easy that was?
That was awesome.
Everything's connected with Adobe.
So I will edit her like that.
I love the old guy.
That's funny. And then bring her.
Mark asks how many people use a mouse versus a pen tablet. I have a Wacom tablet, but I don't use that for designing usually. I'll only ever set that up if I'm going to be drawing something, which I've been using my iPad for lately anyways. Do you use a Wacom tablet ever, Alex?
No.
No? Always a trackpad or mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Here. I'm thinking about how we can make this like a little bit better. What we could do is we could say like, you know, where everybody's from. I definitely think adding like a nice little subtle shadow, you know, would help a lot in this situation. So
Yeah, we've got shadows everywhere else too, so it'd be
Yeah.
nice to be consistent.
So a little bit of a shadow here.
Nice.
And then get discovered, connect with producers, get discovered. So what I want to do here is like showcase someone getting discovered and kind of like connecting and stuff like that. So I might just like do something simple where it shows like where they're from. So
Cool.
like,
Nice little labels.
I think labels go a long way. So I'll do this very quickly, but I'll probably make it like 200. I'll make the height like 70. I'll bring this border out, and then what I can do is I can use my radius tool. I'll make it like 100. I'll bring this down to like there, and then now I can actually go in and get some different colors going on here.
More purples.
There we go. And then I'll grab our color from our icon. So now that's good. Now I'm going to adjust these to the different sizing of the person. So this is how I would do that. And then what I can do is I can just grab here, and then I can just be like Jenna Smith, and she's from San Diego, CCA. And all I'm doing this for is to just show people coming to this site, like you can connect, you know, with different talent
All over the world.
all over the world. So actually, San Diego is like very. I see like when people think of United States, maybe it's like I don't know.
New York,
yeah.
San Francisco.
Yeah, let's just
Seattle's
put
pretty
New
well known.
York, New York, or L.A. Right? Because
LA
there's
for
a lot of
sure.
producers in Los Angeles. And then, did I spell Angeles right?
Angeles? Oh my gosh.
I don't
Yeah, you need another E in there.
You need another E between the G and the L.
see. That's
Yeah,
what I use.
Gotta
Google
check all
for,
your
too.
spelling always. Typos and designs is never fun.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Let's go to Los Angeles.
Alright, so, and then what I'll do here is I'll just change this to like regular, maybe even medium.
So Marion asked if it's possible to update the font styling of just a single line of text in part of a repeat group. Yeah, B. George is correct. You can ungroup it, but you can also, I believe, edit the text without it affecting the other repeat text fields. So I'll just play around with it to see what works, but you can always, if you want to make some custom adjustments after using the repeat grid, ungroup it all, and then everything's unique again.
So there we go. So I'm just showcasing like her name and
Yeah.
where she's from, and I'm gonna do that for the other users. But before,
I forget what typeface we're using. Which one are we using again? for this?
Helvetica New.
Oh, awesome, my fave.
Yeah, just super simple. And then what I'm gonna do here is, I think it's cool to have it cut off here. The shadows are like a little intense for these guys,
Mhm.
so I'm just gonna bring them down just a little bit because they are affecting my design just a hair.
Yeah, Miriam asked again, then it ungroups everything and cannot update easily later. I would suggest also using symbols, and so you can have symbols where if you make an adjustment to a style, it could apply to all, or you can have custom adjustments to a symbol that you've added to your artboard. And you can check out more about symbols on our tutorials. I like the new line.
Yep. So now we're gonna go into our call to action, our final one.
Awesome. Yeah, we
So-
only have about 14 minutes left before the portfolio reviews, so please get those in, and that's just enough time for us to finish this CTA.
So let's do this.
Also, don't forget to ask Alex questions. We only have about 14 minutes left, so get those questions in. What burning questions are on your mind? Oh, Joy says she loves this so much. Everyone's loving your design.
Thank you.
It's really good.
So one of the things, I think keeping things super clean and consistent is kind of my forte. And whenever I see a site, no matter how crazy it is and how it looks, I think simplicity always wins and the product always wins.
Yes.
So I like, just for my final call to actions, just elegancy at its finest. If I can try to like achieve that, that's what I go for. So if I can sneak in some fancy stuff, I do. But for the most part, I want them to get reiterated on what the mission of the app that we're trying to sell or the service that we're trying to sell, and just get them into the app or whatever our call to actions are trying to get the users to do.
Yeah, it's like the period at the end of the sentence. Like, this is it.
Yep.
Here we go. Make a decision.
So I just copied all our text. I'm going to bring it into here. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to center this. I'm going to bring this down just from like 78 to like 64. I'll bring this down just a little bit. We have this text here, but it was 20. I'm going to make it 18, and I'll bring the opacity down to like 70. And then for the call to actions, there's no learn more, because my learn more here, the learn more would probably just scroll them down to here.
Yeah.
Right? So there is only one for this guy, and that's what he would be. So sign up.
Sign up.
It would just be right about, oh, I like that. It just tells me exactly how it's measured. And then now I can actually just, work with this. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's do 11. And then I can just bring this here and then just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then now I can try to like make it pretty again. And
Yeah, Christopher asked how you would handle developer handoff when you finish your XD designs. So if you go back to yesterday's stream with us, we actually went through exporting. Actually, it was day one, wasn't it? Day one, we talked about exporting design specs. But if you look online into what design specs are, you can export design specs for any one of your XD projects, and it hands it off in a way that developers can look at all the different colors, all the different typefaces, all the different measurements and assets, and so it's a really handy tool in XD. If we have time in the next 11 minutes, some people are asking about that developer handoff, so maybe we can show them again how to do that.
let's do it.
I love that like purple pink color.
Yeah, it's just a lot of mixed gradient, and I'm just trying to make it like I said. I think towards the end I want to go for elegancy.
Wow.
So I think to make it like really elegant, I would probably want to go with like something
That's
like
so
that.
pretty.
And then maybe we can even, what we'll do is I actually want to just zoom out and see how that looks. That's clean. So I'll keep it like that. So that's actually how I would end the footer.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so
So-
elegant and clean, yeah.
We're still using the same colors, but we're using like a gradient of one defined color. And if I go back to my thing, you'll see there's a lot of different colors going on.
Oh yeah.
But they're all blended in a way that I just did off just looking at it to where it feels right.
Yeah, you like to eyeball a lot of things, and I think that's really important when it comes to design, because you want to push and pull and not be constrained by different things. You just want to get stuff down on the page.
And this sign up button to me isn't looking that powerful. So what we can do is think about like what we want the user to do. So like maybe a better way to say sign up is like get discovered today.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna change it.
it's a more practical call to action.
get discovered today, and then I'll just go over 1, 2, 3. I think it is 1, 2, 3, and I would change it for the top, obviously. I'm just, like I said, I'm winging it right now, so I would go back, and it wouldn't be sign up at the top either. It would be
Get discovered
today.
Gotcha. Yeah, you got to work with your copywriter on the right copy and branding for your products.
When I worked at Pinterest, there was a thing where when I would get a project, part of my task would be to meet with the copywriter and give them like not even give them ideas, let them know what I need copy for.
Yep.
And the copy they came back with was amazing. I was like, dude, I would have never thought about that.
Content strategists are what we had at Adobe, and they are a fantastic team. They're actually hiring for another content strategist, so if you're looking for a job in that field, reach out to them. I think they've posted all about it on Twitter and through our jobs board. Adobe Design actually has a new website, which is pretty cool too.
So now I'm just adding in my little like footer, so I'll bring that in. I would have a little blurb, usually about what the company is and what we stand for and whatever I might want to put there. I'll have my copy text under here, and the way I like to get my copy text is I just come to my thing here, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then right there, just copy that.
Yeah, fast and
just
easy.
Paste it. I'll change verbal to TO beats, and then I will bring this down a little bit and bring that to like 60. I'll bring this out a little more. Our logo is getting a little distorted, but if I just click into everything.
And adjust the rounded corners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can just do that way. There we go.
Chaman mentions that simplicity is ultimate sophistication. So everyone's taking this simplicity in your CTA.
That's awesome. So now I'm just going to change this. I don't want it to be white, so I'm just going to make it a solid color, and I'll make it a super light version of this blue. So when I come down here, it's just like this. And then now I can actually just play with this a little bit more. And for the actual like web page, it makes more sense to actually have the word TO beats so that people know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Not for the actual web app, but for here, I'll put like.
Yeah, you mentioned that you didn't have TO beats beside the logo in the header before because you would be going to the website. But at the footer, you want to have the company name prominent.
Yeah, and even at the hero and the navigation, it should be in there. So I'm probably going to go back and change that. And what I love about Helvetica New is that if I just do this and then just change, the other one from like bold to like medium,
nice.
It kind of feels like a logo. Like I've seen real logos made out of that.
There are a lot of type-based logos nowadays.
Yeah, so I might stick with that. So I'll bring this down just a hair, bring this guy in just like that, and then I'm just looking for a color right now, but let me see. There we go.
Yeah, we only have about 6 minutes left before the portfolio review. So thank you everyone for submitting. I'm looking forward to seeing some beautiful work.
So you would have like company, you would probably have like a contact us, and then you would have like socials. And what these are these are just like navigational items for people who make it to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just seeing what's new with your company. So there would be like all the stuff under there. So I'm just gonna distribute those evenly. Bring these down, up, there we go, and then this color should all just be consistent. So I'm just gonna grab the color of the background, which we do a lot,
and adjust.
So there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, so we would have links down there, but because we're running out of time, I want to see if before we run out, we can just polish.
This is looking so good.
So first thing I would do is make this a little bit more darker. We should have things consistent, so I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste appearance, and then I'm just going to adjust it, because believe it or not, like even the shadow should be consistent.
Yeah.
So I'll just do something like that. And then we changed our title here to Get Discovered Today, so I'm going to change that here.
Shaylin says she loves how you eyeball things and then go back and refine it. Sometimes she can get caught up in trying to make it perfect the first time around.
I did that, and I still do that. I think it's something we all struggle with as designers, but eventually you just like you
need to ship it.
you don't have a year to work on a landing page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just best to just get it out the door. And what I've learned over the years is like it's good to work fast, and even if the quality isn't good, if you keep that up, the quality goes up. But your speed kind of remains the same.
Yeah.
So then in like 2 or 3 years, you can get to a level where you can do an amazing landing page in 2 hours.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're at that point.
I don't think so. There we go. So that's kind of my new call to action. We have that. That'll sit there. Let's add a little shadow.
Okay.
And then I want to do one thing here. Sometimes it's cool to add like the to round the corners on the product. We exported this as a PNG.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna do a mask with round corners?
Exactly. So I will grab these guys, align them, and then it was object, mask with shape. And now that I have this mask shape, I can go into this rectangle and I can make it like 4 pixels. So now it rounds my corners. They were all rounded out. And then what I can do here, I can go back to my shape and I can add my my awesome shadow that we're using everywhere. So I'll grab this, make it there. The blur will be like heavy, and then I will bring this down. But we're not really seeing it, and I'm wondering why.
Or you have to click out of the mask, because right now you're just editing the rectangle, so yeah, if you
There's
click...
not a property right there to
Oh, sorry, what are you trying to do?
add a shadow behind, like on this object right here.
Okay, so if we go back to the mask group, click on the icon beside the mask group to close it again. Oh, there's no option, you're right. So maybe you need to create a shape behind this mask group in order to do that drop shadow.
That's fine. So I'll just make a square real quick. I will make it about the same size, but bring it down, and then my fill is just going to be the same thing I would for my shadow. I'll bring that down, and then I will send this behind it so you can kind of see it. And then my it's my object blur. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So then I'll increase that a lot. Now what's cool is I don't want the shadow to be heavy at the top. I kind of want it to be like that, so I can stretch it out.
So Alex didn't know XD at all before this week, and he's already figuring out all the cool things to do.
And I'll do like 20. So that
looks nice.
That's good. And then what I'll do is for some more flair, I'll grab these guys. Whoops. I think these are them right here, right?
Yep.
How much time do we got? I feel like I'm like...
Oh, you're good. You have a minute and a half left.
All right. That's not any time. So. And then I'll put those right there. Probably like right there. Group that. Command C, Command V, do this. Object, massive shape.
I'm just curious. Do you think you'll end up posting this project on your social media after Adobe Live's over?
Yeah, you know, I think what I'm going to do, and I actually know I'm going to do this, is after this is live, probably next week on my Dribble, I'll give this away, the file.
Nice. So you're going to give away this free XD file for people to play around with to see what Alex has been working on.
Yeah, so I'll give them access to this right here, which is the product of the web app, and then the landing page.
Nice.
So they can just have it.
Yeah, could you post it on Behance too?
Behance, yes, I will do that as well.
Awesome.
And then all I need to do here is bring that forward. So yeah, so now we have a little bit more flair going on. Let me just grab this guy to bring him down just a little bit. And then this feels good. What I want to do now is I want to see if I can like...
Joy's super excited. She's like, yes!
I want to see if I can like do something different where like maybe I create like an eclipse.
We're running a little bit short on time, so I think it might be time to call it for now. But you can continue to work on this after our stream.
Let's do it.
You've done such a great job.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
Do you want to show people real quick what we've done?
Yeah, so we've done a landing page for TO Beats. We highlighted some of the sections. These would be icons here.
Yeah.
We dove into one of the sections. This would be different clip art.
Yeah.
And then we went into another section almost. We just kind of prototyped it out.
Yeah.
Kind of threw some stuff on idea-wise.
And the most important, the CTA.
And then the final CTA we did there, and then we have our footer right here, which we didn't get to. But yeah.
Cool, yeah. So you'll be finishing this project. At the end of the stream, we'll be recapping everything we did all 3 days. But now it's time to jump into the portfolio reviews. Good
That
job.
was-
Ooh, we're in space. Floating around. Helmets
Can I
on.
open this or do I die?
Oh, you can open it. You won't die. We're good. We're in
Oh,
the
we're
spaceship.
inside the thing. Okay.
Yeah, you can see the command center right here.
Oh, nice.
This is
I've
Alex's
always
first
wanted to go
time.
to space.
First time in space for Alex.
Yeah.
Give him a round of applause. Doing a good job. Cool. I'm going to take the helmet off because I'm good to go. Oof, I'm all set in this spaceship. Alex, you can take it off or keep it on.
cool.
Up to you. And now it's time for some awesome portfolio reviews. So first up, we have Joy. Joy, I know you've been active in chat. I'm excited to see some of your work. Thank you for submitting. And we're going to be looking at your Behance page. And so, Alex, we have a couple different projects on Joy's portfolio. What would you like to dive into first?
I want to go into that one. UX Daily Challenge freelance
Oh,
website.
yeah, daily challenge. So you've participated in some challenges before. This looks so nice.
I love that she used the background photo is the same yellow as what she's using to highlight the yellow on her website.
Yeah. Is this your actual desk? Because this is beautiful. It's so pretty. I love when people show their office desk on their websites. I'm just designing my office right now, so I need some inspiration. Thank you. This is nice. And let's scroll down a little bit. Oh, we're loading something. Let's see what's loading here. There we go. 23-year-old designer from Michigan. Jigsaw Media and co-owner of Jeffrey's Pieces of Joy. I like the little accent behind your photo. I think these playful elements and the playful typeface work well together. Portfolio, nice. We have your different projects. I like that each of these have similar thumbnails. I like the consistency there.
That's really good.
And it looks like we can navigate through a couple different projects. Services, simple, straight to the point. Web
It would have been
design.
nice to have maybe some like photos there too, instead of just the text.
Yeah, so you would add photos to help highlight some of these services?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be good. I like that you call out your services because I think that's important for people to understand what you do. But it might even be better if you're pulling in clients who maybe aren't as familiar with design as other designers to really explain what these mean, because UI, UX, a lot of people who aren't in design don't really know what those terms mean. So the photos could help, or maybe some description text or some examples would be really great. And then we have the contact form. So this looks like a website you put together. I wish I could see the actual website, but I think that this looks really clean as a project on Behance. Any other feedback for Joy on this project?
Scroll down just a bit. Maybe it might be cool to switch off the yellows. Maybe you come up with a different color besides the yellow, because she goes from white background to yellow background to white background to yellow.
Yeah,
Maybe switching it up would be different.
some different tones. So click on this yellow and adjust it slightly lighter or
Exactly.
darker. Nice. Yeah. So thank you for participating, Joy. This is really beautiful. I like that we have screenshots below too of it on a mobile device compared to a desktop. It looks like it's responsive. We have a little nice GIF of it. I like that.
I like the GIF a lot, for sure.
I think any kind of animation helps spruce up your projects and makes people really pay attention. I'm gonna appreciate this. This is beautiful. Oh, I accidentally clicked into one of the images. All right, what's next on Joy's portfolio?
Let's go to the health and wellness website.
So Synergy Health and Wellness website design. Nice. This is a redesign of the Synergy Health and Wellness website to better represent their brand. I like the header image of it on different devices so you know it's a responsive website. I think there could be a little bit more color though and a little bit more pop at the top here.
For this piece,
Yeah.
yeah, I think maybe if she would have put like that blue instead of that black
Yeah.
gradient, that could have went somewhere.
The black is a little bit out of place because everything in your design is so light and airy and blue. So I feel like keeping that consistent with the project background would be really nice.
I agree.
And then we get into the design of the page. I like the contact being at the very top. I think that's a really smart decision. The logo, I don't know if you worked on the logo, but it could be a little bit smaller in the header because it's getting really tight on the top and bottom. I love the colors though. This photo is really nice.
The photo tells me like family health and wellness.
Yeah.
I think a great job on the photo selection. That's hard for me to even do.
Yeah. It's really hard to pick a good photo, and then your design is usually centered around that photo a lot of the time, so it's really tough to make that decision. And you made a good one. It's a little bit hard to read the text on the overlay on top of the photo. This green is just a little bit too light. If you were to do like a contrast test, I think it wouldn't be legible according to standards. So I would just maybe make the text a little bit darker to more match the black beside it, or do a darker overlay if you still want to have that overlay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe making those bolder and increasing the font size for sure.
Yeah, I like these little icons for the different bullet points.
It might have been cool to switch up the icons. It looks like those are two different sections, same icon.
Yeah, so maybe doing a different icon to better describe this bullet point would be good. Like Alex was working on where he was doing custom icons for each section. Cool.
For that section, it would be cool to have the people's face instead of just a user avatar.
Yeah, and maybe it is on the live website. This is just the design, and I think she mentioned that you can actually link to the live website. Let's see if we can pop it up real quick and see how similar it is. Very similar, and so it still looks like it's the icon. So that
Wait, so she did this?
She designed it, and I think they built it.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I don't know if you developed this, Joy. Let us know if you did, but from my understanding, you just designed it. But it looks really nice.
I like it.
Cool. We got the footer down here below. I think overall, I like the design a lot. Appreciate. It might be better to separate the images of the website by keeping it in a container instead of it just taking up the full width of the project page. I don't know, what do you think about it just being one long big page? Do you think that's fine?
Yeah, I mean, it feels more like a landing page.
You're right. I think I just don't like the text at the bottom linking to the website feeling a little out of place.
Yeah.
So maybe some sort of divider right there where it says like link to live website.
Or maybe even a button.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, Joy did it in Adobe Muse. Awesome. So you designed it and developed it. Good job. This is really cool. And I think we have time for one more of Joy's. Oh, she did a travel landing page.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so you participated in the challenge.
She's the one that won.
Yes,
she won.
you
She
did.
won.
We loved yours. Nice job. And so, again, we're consistent with this black gradient background, which is
Maybe that's her brand.
Yeah. I think the color from the designs would help make these pop, though. And it's good to be consistent, but then it makes all your projects look very similar. And you want to have them look different in style in case someone likes a particular color, because design can be very biased, or if they like a specific approach you took in terms of type. Like, it's just good to showcase some of these different elements that exist in the projects. What do you think of this header with the XD logo and stuff?
I think it's good. Maybe that tan that she has right here, which is the living right there.
Yeah.
Maybe put that.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. That nice sandy, beachy color being the background color would be really appealing.
She said I'll definitely update that.
Nice. Yeah, so we've seen this page before. We liked it a lot. We love the typeface.
We liked it enough to call her the winner.
Yes, exactly. So I definitely need to thumbs up this. And thank you, Joy, for participating. Your work is looking beautiful, but when we look at this page, it's a little bit hard to tell what each of these projects
I would agree.
Stylistically are like. And so, yeah, I think elevating to this level with the different designs going on would be good, and it would help showcase your work a little bit better. Thank you. And next up, we have Muhammad. Woo, congrats, Muhammad, on being selected. And so you have a couple different projects going on here as well.
I want to go with that beard guy.
The
Bottom left.
Beard Guy, fashion e-commerce store for Theme Forest. Theme Forest is a place where you can sell your designs, and so you probably sold this design for a price, which is pretty cool. You can make money designing these things. This is a hilarious photo. I like how serious he is.
Well, he looks like a man.
He
It's
does.
Men collection. He looks like a man.
And right away, you know this is about men's fashion.
Yeah.
Like, no
Yeah.
question. So you definitely picked an
The
appropriate
color
photo.
choice is appropriate too. They're not using like pink or anything.
Yeah, it's
It's like a
masculine.
manly color.
Yeah, I like this tan color. It's very complementary to the photo. And it looks like you've toned down the saturation a little bit, so everything's kind of a more neutral, natural tone, which is really nice.
What I would have loved to see is where that belt is to make it a little bit more realistic if there was a shadow attached to it. So it looked like
Yeah.
it was sitting on the background. You know how like Apple does that with their products?
It feels like it has more
Or
weight,
Zappos
too.
or, you know, those companies.
Yeah.
Just to have a shadow on that belt to make it feel like it's like sitting on that background.
Rather than floating in space, it gives
Right.
it a little bit more weight, makes it
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah,
more
yeah.
realistic. I completely agree with you, yeah. Yeah, and so I think the design here and the style of these like unfinished boxes is really nice. You
I like
can
it.
definitely tell you have a consistent brand going on.
And I wonder if on hover they like fill.
Ooh, or if they like animate, that
Yeah,
would be
animate,
really
yeah.
cool. Yeah, so I think this is the top of the project is fine, but I wouldn't mind a title and a description either to like kind of let me know what I'm getting into. It might be enough with the title of the project, but this is definitely in style where you have the section with the number in the background. I like that a lot currently. Yeah, that's definitely cool and modern. This is interesting. The cart page is a little, I don't know. I'm a
Little busy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused by the recent products being shown on the left while you're in the cart.
Well, I think they're trying to upsell you while you're in the car.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so there's practicality here. Yeah, I like these unfinished boxes, but when you're looking at a form or a page where you need to make quick decisions or it's more of like a formal process, I tend to stick more for standards than for style. I don't know how you are, Alex.
I'm 100% agreeing with you.
Yeah, and so I love the style on the product pages when you're looking for a stylish product. It makes complete sense. But then here, I almost lost the fact that this was an input field for the number because of the unfinished box. And so it's cool, but you also want to make sure that users aren't confused when they're going through the buying process because you don't want them to drop off at that point. I like the style. I think it needs to be a little bit more spaced out and airy so that we can read the page a little bit more easily. But I like the style a lot. Like, it's a nice art piece.
I agree.
Checkout.
I think to your point, just having the checkout fields be complete.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit more legible here because you have less going on the page, but it's still a little bit confusing with the styling going on. It looks like when you click into it, it completes the box because he has inputted something for the name field, but I don't know, it might get a little much with you clicking in a box, it filling in. If you click out, it goes back out. So yeah, I think our feedback is just for forms to be a bit more standard in your approach. But overall, I love the colors. I think the black and white is really clear. The products really shine with the simple design elements and color choice. Cool, okay, so this is the product page. How do you feel about this, Alex? We have the categories on the left-hand side over a photo, and then we have these unfinished boxes for icons, it looks like, when you hover over the object.
Yeah, you know, I would have actually kept the background of that overlay 100% white, just because it is a little hard to read, and I just make it 100% white.
Yeah, so again, I think it's a little bit busy on the left-hand side with the photos, what we're saying. And
Yeah.
so if you were to have such a big menu, you don't want to confuse people by having it illegible or hard to read. You want to make sure that people can read what they're browsing through. And we have Jessica dancing in the background. Kevin just walked in, so
They're both
stick
dancing.
around for the next stream. They're excited and ready to go, it looks like. Yeah, I like the product shots. I like the name and description, or name and price point. That's really easy to read. I just think legibility is something you really want to make shine with e-commerce pages. But overall, good job here. And what's the next one we want to look at for Muhammad?
Hotel booking website?
Yeah, that looks nice. Ooh, I like this header image.
They did a good job.
Yeah, you get what they're trying to do right away.
I like this piece. I like it a lot.
We got some angles going on.
And they have a photo in the background too of that
Yeah.
angle piece.
So having a background photo with a mask and with the color on top of it is really nice. Having that monochromatic view. So we can see the homepage right here. I really like the logo and type here, API travel. Looks like travel might be spelled wrong, maybe on purpose. Tarvel, and so if that's not on purpose, make sure you run a spell check because typos are the bane of my existence as a designer. But I love the maroon colors. I feel like it really helps keep it in an elegant type of feel.
I would agree.
Oh,
That's
that's cool. How do you feel about people showcasing stuff like this?
I like it a lot. I think when they showcase the colors and the fonts they use, they're being honest about what it is, and it shows just the next level of like professionalism for that designer.
Yeah,
I feel.
It shows intent too. It shows that you were purposeful in what you chose and you have a style going on. I like it a lot. These are cool.
I think that's the website, right? Laid out in sort of like a PDF format thing.
It looks like they used a 3D object that they mapped the image to, which is pretty common nowadays. You'll see a lot of mock-ups where it's just like floating shapes where you apply your designs.
Right.
I think it showcases it well, but it's a little bit confusing that it cuts it off and things like that. So maybe if you were to showcase it in this 3D block, maybe have the header be at the top, and then on the left-hand side where you don't see the top of the block, you can scroll down the page a little bit
I think
more.
the footer's good right there, and the left one, the
Yeah.
right one should have the homepage.
Yeah, the header. Yeah, this is really nice though. Tools used.
That's good.
This is cool.
That's good.
It's really important to let people know what you used because people always want to know and they're curious about how you're building these things. Responsive view. This is a little bit small. You have a lot of space on the
Yeah, they
sides.
could have amped it up so we can see more of what's going on in those objects.
Yeah, I want to see some more here, and so just making it a little bit bigger so we can get a closer view would be really nice. Or showcasing it like you did with these blocks where you do a close-up view of maybe a mobile screen. That would be really neat. It's cool that it is responsive, but you want to showcase that and like, it's responsive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like the ending with this little angle too. It really feels like an opener and closer for your project. And the little logo of your studio on the bottom is really nice.
I like that.
Cool. I like it. And one more I think we have time for a Mojave.
I'm gonna let you choose.
All right. I think I want to click on the Rabbi Store app because I like the logo. Rabbi? Maybe it's like rabbit since there's a rabbit.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, let's see if it loads. It says prototype not found.
Oh, maybe it's like missing.
Let's see if I can reload it.
Still nothing.
It's not loading for me. That's not good. Maybe my computer's too slow. I'm sorry about that. Instead of that one, let's do Logo Folio.
Oh,
Whoa! So this looks like it's just a project of a bunch of different logos that you've worked on.
these are awesome.
Yeah.
We get to see like the final result in a bunch of them.
Yeah, this is really neat. So I like that you have numbers for each of the sections. I like that there's like a solid background color. It really separates the sections really well. We can see who it's for. We can see like a cute little Pantone icon in the bottom right. What do you think of this logo?
I like it. I think instantly though, it kind of reminds me of like just the way the shapes are different and skewed. It gives me this feel that this is not an accounting firm that I would instantly have credibility with.
Gotcha.
I see that more as like a tutor logo.
It's a little too playful. so
Too
you're saying?
playful, yeah.
So how would you give him advice on how to make it a bit more formal?
Maybe just the shapes skewed are throwing me off, but maybe if they were all combined and elegant, an accounting firm, they got to be precise and
Yes.
exact, with your money. So I would not have those shapes skewed.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. But it all depends on the brand that the accounting firm is trying to take on. But usually, when you're creating logos for an industry like that, you want it to be pretty formal. Dairy Plus, nice. A veterinary clinic. So it looks like
I got the vet vibe.
yeah, a vet for cows. It seems like because we have dairy in the name. So I like the face of the cow, and I like this little moon going on. How do you feel about the house around it?
The house gives me that it is like a doctor, it is a veterinarian.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold on the cow.
Gotcha.
Maybe how there's like the spots inside, because the moon is not filled. It would be cool if it was just the stroke outline of the cow.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Instead of just the spots.
Instead of the detailed view of it, because also the further you get away from this logo, the harder it is to identify that it is a cow.
That's true.
So having just the outline of the cow's face might actually be easier to see from far away, and icons tend to get pretty small. But I like the color choice. The red is interesting to me, but it speaks to a vet, like blood, medical, so I get that. Next we have Premarital University of London. That might be London. Yeah, there's another typo in the logo, so make sure you do spelling check. I know it's hard, especially when English isn't your first language, but definitely run a spell check and have people look over your work. What do you think of this torch?
I like it. I think instantly the simplicity of it is amazing, but the only thing that throws me off is that curve that goes into the A.
It's a little harsh. It kind of looks like it's going to stab you.
Yeah, it's harsh, and it kind of makes the title hard to read. I think this would be awesome if you just chopped off that section and a little bit more, so the symbol is a little bit smaller. What is that, like the leg it stands on?
Yeah.
It was a little bit actually a lot smaller. That way it was just the symbol, the text.
Gotcha. So the symbol should be cut off a little bit higher, and we should separate it a little bit more from the text.
But I do like the symbol a lot, and the type.
I think these are really well displayed. We're not going to go through all of them, but I think it's a great idea to show all your iconography on a project page.
I do like his logos, though.
Yeah, I think these are really nice. So thank you for submitting. I hope you had fun with our portfolio reviews. And now we have just about enough time for us to recap what we learned with Alex today and the past 2 days. And maybe you want to pull up your social media links again so people know how to contact you after this stream.
Yes, so you guys can find me here. I'm always online, so...
DJ Banaga.
DJ, yeah. If you guys have any questions, you guys can contact me on any one of those platforms, but I'm usually always online, so...
Yeah, so people can reach out and ask you for feedback.
Someone DM'd me today on Twitter just asking me to review their website.
That's so
I told them to join here, but they said they were in India, the times were off.
Yeah, it's hard with the time difference sometimes, but you can always watch the stream after we've recorded it. So Alex has had a lot of fun these last 2 days. This whole week has been really great, and we've met some really cool people. And what have you worked on this week, and what can we expect from you after this week as far as posting on your website or on your social media?
Yeah, so this week I worked on a fictitious music producing app, which was basically if SoundCloud and Dribble had a baby. So it was a producing app for producers to upload their beats, get discovered online, get feedback online, meet other producers online, and we worked on the web application. And we dove on a few of those pages, like the sign up modal, the producers page, the navigation, all that fun stuff. And then today we knocked out
this beautiful
landing page for the actual product,
which is Alex's specialty. So if you're working on landing pages, he would be a great person to reach out to. He's worked with a lot of startups to help them prove out their ideas. Let's have a look at that landing page. One last look before we go. So we've got this beautiful header where we've actually displayed the design you put together for the product. We go through different features of the product. And you like to have clear-cut sections that highlight different aspects of it.
Exactly.
Before going down to the CTA where you want people to sign up or hit that main primary button to get involved.
Bam. Just go straight to it.
Yeah, so check out Alex's work online. Thank you so much for participating. We've had some really great questions. I love this community, and Alex does too. I'm sure you're going to keep in touch with this community.
Yeah, keep in touch with all of you. I'll be posting a lot more on Behance too.
Nice, yeah. I'm starting to get more involved in Behance as well. It's a really great community. And Alex is self-taught, so he's a big proponent of meeting people online and supporting each other in design.
Of course.
Yeah, would you like to leave with any parting words, Alex?
Yeah, this has been really fun. I'm gonna miss coming in. I think the first day was very I was nervous, and you don't know what to expect with all these lights on you.
Yeah, it can be intimidating.
But I had a blast, and I think I used a lot of resources online just to get started when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So just giving back, it feels good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alex. It's been my pleasure hosting you, and thank you everyone for joining. We'll see you next time, and keep it tuned to hang out with Kevin and Jessica after this.
Kevin's awesome.
Yeah, he is. All right, thank you. Bye.